Okay, so hello and welcome everyone. So we, the students of third year BTech A division, are gathered here for the OSIA2 presentation, and the topic for the presentation is Pop OS on Raspberry Pi. And the students involved in this are Hardik Panchal, that is me, Soham Patil, and Siddhant Parekh. So next slide. The contents of this presentation is introduction, installation steps, then a Pop OS architecture, the features, and the conclusion. So I'll be explaining the introduction part, the architecture part, and the conclusion. Then Siddhant will go with the installation steps, and then Som will continue with the features. So next slide. So basically, what is Pop OS? That is introduction part. So Pop OS is a free and open source Linux distribution based upon OpenDo, featuring a custom genome desktop. The distribution is developed by System 76 company, that is to be bundled with the computers, and you can also download it and install it on most of the computers. Then as Pop OS is basically maintained by System 76 with the release version. So unlike many other Linux distributions, it is not community driven. So outside users can contribute it, view and modify the source code in it. Then we have the Pop OS architecture. So Pop OS provides default disk encryption, a streamlined window, and workspace management. It also gives keyboard shortcuts for navigation as well as built-in power management profiles. So Pop OS is a lightweight installer with very less elements. So it is available as an LTS, that is long-term service. The system requirements are as follows. It is a 64-bit processor. It basically requires 2 GB of RAM for a primary basis, but at the end, 4 GB of RAM is recommended for that. And we also need a USB drive with at least 8 GB storage space to create a bootable live USB image. So this was the information about Pop OS architecture. So now my friend Siddhant will continue with the installation steps.
So, hi guys, my name is Siddhant and I will be explaining you the installation steps for Pop OS. So, to install Pop OS, next slide. Install Pop OS, we will first need to go to its official site, which is boosted or which is maintained by System 76. There you will go to download and there we will get three options. One is for the PCs without a graphic card. Then another one is for NVIDIA drivers. And the last one is for Raspberry Pi 4. So we'll download Raspberry Pi 4's image. Then to then to make a flash drive, as we all know that to install a new distribution or new OS in a system, we first need a flash drive so that we can make it a bootable file and then we can run it on a different system or to make it a dual boot. So first we will use the Balena HR software, which is a free software to make a bootable drive. Once we install Balena HR, we will require an SD card or a USB drive, and we will need to insert it in a PC port. If we use a SD card, then we will need a SD card reader to plug it in a PC port. So as we are using a Raspberry Pi, we will be using SD card. So eventually we will use SD card reader, and the format for SD card will be FAT32. And previous slide, please. And as you can see, there are the multiple steps. We have kept the file system FAT32 and we have allocated 16 kilobytes. And yes, and we require SD card must be at least 8 GB RAM. At least 8 GB. So after installing Balena HL, we will select our image. Then we will select the target. The target will be our SD card, USB drive. So we will select our USB type. In our case, we used as SanDisk USB. Like, yeah. We have selected SanDisk USB device, and then we flashed. This is the window which you will get after installing your SD card to Raspberry Pi, and this will be the welcome. First image is for the welcome page. Then we will select the input as English. Then we will connect it to our Wi-Fi, and there are some privacy features which you can enable or disable according to you. So this the left image is for the left image is shown where we have created our active user key. This is the user, and the right side there is our password. Next one. First thing you will see after you follow the installation steps. In between, you will get a slide. In between, you will get a pop-up where you need to give your location. That is your time to get a time zone, and you will also get one or two options where you can install a minimal package or you can make a customized. So in minimalistic, there will be a minimum software which you require in a software in any OS, such as browser. Then there are different settings, etc. And in customized, you can it depends on what you are using for. So you will get a bigger picture by Soham will explain you the features.
Now I will be explaining the features of Pop OS. The first feature of Pop OS is workflow customization, in which we can create many workflows so that the work on the operating system can run smoothly. The next feature is auto tiling with Pop Shell. Pop OS uses auto tiling for the same reason that people hire assistants. Organizing your work is incredibly time consuming. Pop OS gives us the power to create and arrange workspaces. We can keep relevant content together and irrelevant content out of the site. In the next feature is the keyboard navigation. Keyboard shortcuts are used to move and resize windows, search for anything, and launch application in Pop OS. The next feature of Pop OS is stacking, in which we can stack application windows atop one another like tabs in web browsers. The next feature of Pop OS is that it supports development toolkits for deep learning, engineering, media production, and bioinformatics. Next is hardware with Pop OS. System 76 and HP Dev Online hardware are engineered together with Pop OS for optimal performance and user experience. These computers empower creators and makers to go forth and discover. As Pop OS is Linux based, it has a better security than other operating system, most of the operating systems. It has encryption and we can update Pop OS whenever we want. It has privacy, that is, Pop OS does not collect or store any form of data from the user. It also supports firmware management and it is compatible with most of the software tools out there which normal users use most of the time.
Okay. So now we move on to the conclusion part. So here we have learned about what is Pop OS. So that is Pop OS is an open source Linux distribution. Then what was the architecture of Pop OS? So we have described that as well. Then how to install Pop OS was well explained by Siddhant on VMware and booting from an external device. Then setting up profiles from Pop OS and various features on Pop OS was explained by Soham. So all this comprises the info about Pop OS. So that is all about the presentation. So thank you.